I feel that when you come home, you need a place which sort of intimate and which sort of protects you and sort of you feel comfortable. They are not watched and your voice shouldn't carry all over.
Understood.
How you're actually going to build.
Yeah.
And who you're going to get it built by.
And yes.
And how you're going to run the finances. How you're going to sustain.
Yeah.
These are the things that our architectural education should focus on. This is my lament always, that our architectural education has failed us, especially today, because it's all about only thinking and dreaming and ideating and
fantasy.
Like to the point of fantasy, depending on which school you go to.
Yeah, okay.
You will have to be very careful when you make a brief, and you'll have to run it past them.
Okay.
And they might not even know that this is what they have asked. And you might want to try to educate the client without making it top down.
Yeah.
But show him examples of how class can be achieved by not just populating the building with fancy, expensive, flashy materials all the time.
Hi, welcome architect Abarna Narasimhan, partner and design director at Venkataraman Associates.
Namaste.
So now we are in the set of Vanitha Veedu Awards. So I would like to interact with you more. So, and I have read that your firm is having a legacy of 55 years of experience, starting from 1969.
Yes.
So would like to know more about your philosophies and role in the design firm. So let's move on to our first query. I have read that you have a strong skill in hand drawing.
Yeah.
So you being a strong advocate for hand drawing as a design tool in the era dominated by digital software, I would like to know, how does the physical act of sketching affect or change the soul of a building, as well as how you incorporate or use that skill in the current era? Yeah.
Thanks for inviting me and asking me these questions, and congratulations to Vanitha Veedu for coming up with a periodical which is also in print medium actually, and connecting regular people with the field of architecture. So congrats to that. Now, coming to your question, our firm Venkataraman Associates is an old firm. It was started by our founder P.K. Venkataramanan in 1969. I wasn't there, obviously. I hope I'm old, but not that old. So having sustained for so long, there are certain things that the firm believes in. And me, what I brought to the firm was a design ideology, which was very much informed by how I think, and especially with the help of how I visualize whatever I think immediately. And those days it was hand drawing. Yeah. And in the present day, those days even the final drawings was hand drawing, and even a 3D view was a hand drawing. Before I joined this firm, I was working in another firm where I was the one who used to do all the 3D views also, apart from the design conceptualization. So, but now that whole idea of hand drawing, I don't want to romanticize it. It is useful, but it has its place. And it is useful in thinking, and because your thought process has a certain speed, and your hand also has a certain speed. So if you want to sync
it,
then I feel it really helps this hand drawing, because both are very human.
So it helps you with your fellow architects as well as in the site or construction.
Yeah, that's a good question. There are two ways. One is how initially you conceptualize a design, because you you get an idea which is a flash in the air, and you immediately
Yeah.
want to capture it, and you want to put it on paper. And you stress on certain things, like it could be a space or a detail or the way you organize the zones in the master plan. It could be anything. You may want to stress on any one thing, and that a hand drawing does, because you'll have that much more pressure on your pencil. And the
Understood.
others, you will, put it under a tree or something like that.
Easier way of communication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that way you know that what is the soul of your design. So that is, that's how a hand drawing helps in terms of conceptualization. But as far as the other part is, when you go to the site, sometimes you may not have
Yeah,
all the digital tools available with
it's
you,
easy to-
and you want to solve a problem in the site, and you immediately want to make it tangible. You don't want to just keep explaining to
Yeah.
the site engineer or the contractors. So you just get the dimensions, and I don't just draw in a site. It is not just how beautiful or romantic a building looks. You get the dimensions, and you make a
Yeah.
sketch with dimensions.
Yeah,
So it's all measurable, it's all tangible.
Yeah.
I don't like to romanticize the idea of a beautiful sketch in architecture all the time.
Okay, but I appreciate that skill.
Thank you.
Yeah, as an architect,
Yeah.
we all need it.
Yeah, it is useful. The other thing that hand drawing does, you really don't need, because nowadays you can visualize anything with a 3D
But even
software.
even in this we can, even in iPad now we can sketch. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. But the only advantage with the hand drawing is that you can stress on whatever you want.
yeah, like you said, the more importance where the line weights will be there.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so my next question is now. So now let's talk a little beyond this architecture and blueprint. So, as a co-founder of Kadambari, an organization promoting performing arts and fine arts, how do you see the performance of a building? Like, does your background in the theater actually helps you in to set a design, influence how you want people to feel when they move around that place or something? Does that actually helps? I mean, I would like to know more about it.
Nice question. I would say not directly. I would be stretching it if I say that. I mean, to be honest, it's really not like that. But what the main thing about Kadambari is that it was not just performing arts and fine arts, but it's the performing arts, fine arts, crafts, textiles of India.
India, yeah.
So that for me was very important. The fact that it was all rooted and relevant to our country and our culture and our traditions.
Okay.
And I feel there is so much value in it. And unless we learn how to showcase it and firstly understand it so that we can showcase it, and also make other people value it. And especially children. Kadambari started with children first.
Yeah, okay.
So I feel only then you can have pride in your own
like
culture.
we value whatever our tradition, understand it.
Yeah. In an analytical way. Again, I would say not in a romantic way. But you can see, like in architecture, for example, there is a reason in your own Kerala why the roofs are like that, why the walls are not significant. It's the roof which is an important thing in any architecture. The walls are all set in because they're protecting you from the weather that you have here. And you, at the same time, you want to ventilate. So you have those slats, and that gives you a view also.
And it reduces the humidity.
And so there are reasons why. So
why
you have
should understand the traditional way of.
Yeah. And then you can use it or not as you choose, but at least it will be an informed decision.
Okay. Yeah. So next is, I have read that you are known for revisiting your completed projects to see how people actually use them. So, what is the most surprising thing you have learned or loved from watching them use your design space? Yeah.
Nice question again. one of the things in my own house, actually, to be honest, is that I had this whole grand notion that I'll have this double light space and, a feeling of space and, everything will emerge from that. And but then now that I'm living in this house, I must say I'm not very happy
Oh.
because I feel that is not what is a residence. That I mean that's
Okay.
subjective. I may be
Yeah.
completely wrong, but this is what I feel. I feel that when you come home, you need a place which sort of intimate and which sort of protects you and sort of you feel comfortable there, not watched, and your voice shouldn't carry all over.
Understood.
You're going to have conversations in the house across rooms to different people.
Yeah.
There may be a fight, you may be arguing.
Yeah.
You don't want that echoing all over.
Yes,
So
true,
you'll
true.
have to really question all these things. Like these are just notions that are passed down, and we also don't analyze it and we just adopt it. So you'll have to think, what is comfort? What do I want when I get home? And start from there.
So maybe we need to understand from each client we are going to design also, right? What they
Yeah.
want. When
Yeah,
they
you might at
reach
least
there.
want to put it across to them and say, this is what is my
Ah.
experience. Would you still want it?
Yeah.
The other thing I learned is that when you design for clients, many times I have noticed in my building, you just presume a brief and you will have to be very careful when you make a brief, and you'll have to run it past them.
Okay.
And they might not even know that this is what they have asked. You will have to put it down, speak to them informally. They may not be skilled enough to sort of neatly enumerate what they want and don't want in whatever they want to build. But you will have to do it and put it across to them, because you're in the field. They are just building that one odd house or a one odd building. So you'll have to put it across and say, these are the things I have understood. Just run it past them. Do you like it? Because
Or if
many
they
times
want to
I've seen,
add.
I've done these colleges and institutions with this idea that students will gather, there'll be an entrance with steps, and that's where they'll sit. But actually, finally, the college figures, they don't want the space opened out to people. There's no security, and they'll put a grill gate there. Then all that you had dreamt of is just in your head.
Yeah.
And they also didn't know that that's what they wanted until if you had asked them before, they would have done it.
But sometimes they may not also be not sure if this is going to turn out like that.
They may not be, but at least you should put it across to them.
Yeah.
So this is the other thing
Like
I have
these
learned.
things can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you like it? Are you sure you don't want security? So this is the other thing I learned from revisiting my own projects. It's one of the few things that I've learned.
Anyway, it was a good advice for me as well. So let's move on to the other question. So that is, I have heard in one of your interviews, I think, that you have mentioned that design should be good rather than just iconic. So in a world that loves flashy architecture, how do you convince clients that a building should fit into its environment and the budget is more valuable than the one that just looks spectacular?
Yeah, that's nice. Sometimes the two are at cross purposes. That a spectacular building doesn't solve the problems
Okay.
or the functionalities. But sometimes they may both be solved.
Yeah.
But maybe the other point is that sometimes the brief given or the function of the building may be that it has to be iconic also. It might be like it's a draw to call people over. It could be a fancy mall that a client wants to build, and he wants people to come. He wants it to stand out. He wants it to be iconic.
Okay.
So that's also the brief. That's the functionality of the building.
Okay.
So you'll have to be able to be clear
What the
about
client wants.
why the client wants.
Also, like what I intend is sometimes irrespective of the climatic factors or anything, the materials they opt for or the materials they want. So that is something, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's what's, I'm unable to come and dictate to a client, because after all, he's building that house that he's always dreamt of only once in a while.
Okay.
So maybe that's what he wants. But then I feel you shouldn't just leave it at that. you can show buildings which are simple and yet very elegant and very beautiful and classy. And you might want to try to educate the client without making it top down, but show him examples of how
If
class
then-
can be achieved by not just populating the building with fancy, expensive, flashy materials all the time. And yet, if he wants
continue,
then
it's his job.
then you make a call.
Yeah, fine, understood. So, okay, so my final question is this: that is something which I want you to tell to the future architects from these many experience and these many client base you had. So, and I have also read that you interact with students through workshops and talks. So, my question is, what is this? Exactly like in our conversation, we said that we learn the design thinking, imagination, everything from college. So, what is a non-architectural skill like empathy, observation, or storytelling that you believe that this next generation should have to succeed in this career field, design field?
And this is my lament always, that our architectural education has failed us in even till today, because especially now, especially today, because it's all about only thinking and dreaming and ideating and
fantasy world.
like to the point of fantasy, depending on which school you go to. With really the focus and sort of the primacy given to that, and that is the in thing. The students want only that, and that is supposed to be the cool thing to do. When actually that is just one part of it.
Just one part, yes.
And I'm not decrying it, but I feel that has its place, and there's a very initial thing, and it's a very small place. There's also how you're actually going to build, and who you're going to get it built by, and how you're going to run the finances, how you're going to sustain. These are the things that our architectural education should focus on. Okay, it's the other end is to run a practice, but the intermediate of how do you represent what you've thought in measurable, tangible terms, and not always SketchUp and 3D Max, but also measurable. There should be dimensions. You should know how it's sitting on the site. How do you zone it? Why do you put a building wherever you're putting it in the site? So there has to be a problem-solving approach to architecture and a process, therefore. Starting with stating a problem. You're given a job, find out what is the problems. You have to know to state it. And then you should have a process to go about solving the whole problem. So it's not just idea, it's problem solving. And I feel that's totally lacking. Like if you want to design a house for somebody, it's a problem solving exercise.
It's like,
you first have to find out what do they like, what do they not like, how many people live there, whom they want to meet, whom they don't want to meet. So you make a brief.
And what the site also adds.
So that starts with that. Then you have to know where is the site, what is on either sides, all the sides of the site. So then you learn zoning. Then you learn the movement. How do they want to? They want their dining area next to the kitchen, or do they want their TV area next to the kitchen? So there's circulation. You understand that. You understand their budget. So this whole thing is a process, and you have to go about it like that. How many drawings are you going to make? So then how do you list the drawings? Which are you going to release first? What are you going to release later? How many people are going to be required?
And how to make them understand what they want and what we are going to provide, like all those things. So basically, I think you said like it should be like solving a problem rather than creating another problem with that. I have seen that at times. That's why. While solving a problem, we'll be creating another problem and solving it along with that.
Exactly. You may have a site where one
Yeah.
side is noisy, one side is a road, behind is a factory. So you know there's only one side which is quiet and nice. So how do you solve that? You don't have all the three sides as a place you want to open the house to. So that's a problem. So you have to work out a solution where the whole house opens towards the one side which is quiet and beautiful and open. The one
Yeah,
side of the
understood.
side.
Yeah.
So all this, you state the problem that there's a noise all over here, and but the east light is only coming from the place where there is noise. So
yeah.
how do you solve that
Yeah.
problem? So there may be conflicting
Conflicts,
situations
yes,
like
yes.
that. So you'll have to sort of analyze and then start your design. You can't just say, oh, I love this and I want to do this.
But sometimes I think even like we said, the clients also come up with, like, they, even if there is noise or something, we want this thing that
And you can
there,
explain
or
it to them.
yeah.
You can have
Like
a
you
solid
said.
wall that side, but you can have not a solid wall. You can have a view which is
But the no
the
sound
glass
is coming.
which is above, which lets the east light in.
But no sound
But
is
it's
coming.
but the sound
like
doesn't
that.
come. You have to state the problem first.
Yeah.
Exactly what you said. The client may want it, so that's the problem. There's a conflict there.
Yeah, conflict.
So how do you solve it? Come up with situations. So you have to have a material palette and solutions systems ready with you.
Then that will be easy for them to understand and choose it.
Yes. So if you break it down as problems and how am I going to solve the problems,
So many ways of solving it.
Yeah.
Then, yeah.
you'll convince yourself and then you'll have to convince the client, which will be easy.
Yes, yes.
It can't be based on what I like and what I don't like, a whim, whether it's yours or the client's.
Yeah, for both of us, it shouldn't be like, I like this, I like
Yeah.
that. It should be
That is how
yeah,
architecture is taught, unfortunately.
Yeah, and
Any jury you go to, they say, I really love this, so that's why I did this.
yeah.
That's not architecture. That's art. Or
Yeah, that is
sculpture.
art. Sometimes the architecture also happens to be like an art piece on the site.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if that's what the client wants,
Yeah, wants. It's
then
fine.
that's okay.
It's fine. Yes. Yeah.
He wants it for a reason because he wants this house not to live in really, but to have attract
it's all
people.
it's all subjective actually. If the
Subjective.
client likes it and if the architect.
But so long as you have taken that informed decision, then it's okay. But if you didn't even think about it and you did it, then that's not the solution.
Okay, so it was nice having you here and good to interact with you. It was informative to me as well, and I think it will be informative to those who are watching it also.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Waiting to see the entries in the coming.
Yeah.
2
So all the
days.
best
Thank you.
for tomorrow's show.
All the best to Vanitha Veedu also.
Okay, yeah.